Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to episode 1 of the Embodiment Series with me, Josephine Snowling. I had this idea, this brainwave come to me about creating this series all around embodiment and trying to really share my journey of stepping into what I believe is like this next phase of my own inner development, and that is embodiment. I have, for like those of you who don't know, I have been researching and reading and studying and learning about self-development, inner work for the last 10 plus years. My journey kind of all started when I went on my honeymoon to Thailand, which was like 10 years ago now. And before then, I was never somebody who would class themselves as spiritual. I was very much like logic driven, very science fact based. But something happened when I went to Thailand. Sorry, my dog has found a ball at the real wrong moment and is deciding to squeak it. So let's pause and we'll come back and see if he stopped. Okay, let's try again. The ball has gone. As I was saying, we went to Thailand and something like this awakening just occurred within me. So for any of you that haven't been to Thailand or somewhere like that where you go in to visit temples, one of the things that they tend to make you do is take off your shoes. It's just kind of like a sign of respect, really. And because it was really hot, I was wearing sandals, and so to take off my shoes I had like bare feet. And something happened to me when I walked barefoot in those temples. It was like an energy just went straight through me, and it sparked this curiosity in me to want to know more. And that is where the journey started, really. And from that point onwards, I have not stopped researching about this reality and ourselves and our connection to source and how to live a life that you want to live and how to be connected with that and all of those great things. But one of the things that I've realized on my journey, where I feel like I'm now kind of getting stuck, and let me know in the comments if this is like resonating with your journey as well, is that I have done so much research. I have got so much knowledge. I can talk for days about self-development, personal development, inner work, inner growth, all of that kind of thing. But what I feel like I'm lacking now is true embodiment. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am embodied in certain things that I've kind of picked up along the way that I've learned. You can't help but not do that. But I feel like the stage that I'm at now is to kind of step into full embodiment, to stop doing the research. And I think what happens is the research becomes a bit of a like crutch. It's almost like a safety point after a while. Like in the beginning, it's out of curiosity. It's this desire, this thirst for more knowledge and more understanding. And then after a while, like I've caught myself so many times, and like, let me know if you've done this as well, like reading something and going, I know this. Like this is not new information to me, and not in like some I know it all way, but in a I have read this over and over again. I've read this from different points of view, from different people, all of this kind of stuff. Like, I know this. Why am I not like just applying it? Why am I not just sinking into this? And so I wanted to create this embodiment series where I kind of just do a bit of a diary style video for you guys, taking you through. I'm hoping to do it week on week. I'm going to see how that goes. I have Tuesdays at home. My girls are both in like full-time school on a Tuesday, and so it feels like a good time to drop into this, to like catch up on where I've gone throughout the week with it all, and just take you on this sort of journey with me, really, into stepping into embodiment and how that feels and what shifts and the ups and downs, I suppose, of what happens along that embodiment journey of actually starting to integrate all the things that I've learned over the last 10 years and really starting to implement like big time into my physical reality and seeing what results that brings, because it feels like this is the point I'm sort of stuck at, really. So today I want to talk through a couple of areas that I've been focusing on, or I'm going to start focusing on in my embodiment phase. And those are my own personal glow up. And I want to talk about that in a bit more detail because it's much deeper than just looking good kind of thing. There's a lot more to that. I want to talk about this idea of like humbling yourself and stepping more into gratitude for the now rather than getting so all consumed with the future desire. Is something that a trap I've fallen into big time. As somebody who dreams very big, like, and not on a small scale, I think my mentality has very much slipped into one of, once I get to that dream, then I'll be happy, then I'll be fulfilled, then I'll be good kind of thing. And I'm starting to realize that mentality, even though again, I know in my head that mentality is not a good mentality, I'm starting to realize that it's actually making me suffer way more. And I also had this thing that I kind of know that it's not getting there that's going to cause all of those emotions to come into play. And so as part of that, I want to start making the journey more fun, and I actually want to start placing more emphasis on the journey than the destination. I spent a long time focusing on the destination, getting that kind of clear and nailed down, and now I just want to focus on what the journey feels like and how that unravels. And another thing I want to talk about is leaning into my more feminine side. I think for a lot of women, like certainly in my situation and from what I've seen from the people I've known, I've spent a long time in my masculine. I think kind of out of a survival need, one that I didn't really realize I was doing, and it's led to a lot of burnout. And I think whilst I'm much more conscious and aware of that happening now, I still fall into those habits and it can be hard to get back out of them. So I really want to focus on softening, stepping into that feminine more, allowing myself to relax, to slow down. Like even in this video, even like in these really minute ways, like not rushing what I'm trying to say, slowing it down, allowing myself time to really like go within and, you know, like marinate. That feels like a good word to say for this. Yeah, like marinate in things a little bit more. And also really trying to step into not like losing the security of needing to find examples of other people doing what it is I want to do. Like I've done this a lot with my business. I've done this a lot with a lot of my life actually, is that I'll get an idea of like what I want to start embodying or what I want to start doing and stepping into. And then it's like the first step I make is I have to go and find evidence of somebody else doing it. And I don't think there's anything like wrong with that. I think it can sometimes bolster your confidence to do it. But really what I feel like that's removing me from is this ability to kind of find my own blueprint, this ability to find my own way and not have to feel like I need permission from somebody else living this way in order for me to live that way. So those are the things that I kind of just want to run through in this like little episode. So if this is exciting you, then, you know, make sure you subscribe and follow along on the channel. The rest of my videos are all centered around teaching you to come home to yourself. And learning that when you come home to yourself, what I call come home, you know, when you go back inwards, back into your center, that is when you start creating that outer reality. And this is something like major that I want to start embodying like on a next level. I don't want it to just be this mental thing anymore. It needs to be like an all-out embodiment. So if that's a journey that you're on as well, then I'd be really excited to do this journey with you guys and see your progress and support you along that as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if that's your vibe. Okay, so The first thing I want to talk about is this glow up idea. And this is kind of where I got the inspiration for this episode title, A Little Bit of Love. And I've been thinking about this a lot recently, mainly because I've kind of gone through like a couple of months of being in survival mode a bit. We've kind of had illnesses, we've had so much going on. It's like winter here in the UK, and I'm still trying to find my relationship with winter a little bit. Like, it does suck me down, it does depress me a bit, and I don't want that to be like that anymore. But that's an ongoing process, it's an ongoing relationship I've got with that season. And so I found that a lot of my like natural self-care habits have just slipped because I've been in this survival mode. I've also been in this state where I'm like really trying to numb. Like, things haven't been going how I've wanted them to in a lot of different areas. And so I've found myself resorting back to a lot of numbing activities, things like scrolling on social media, but with like no real purpose, just trying to like, I don't know, distract myself from like the current reality. One of my other like numbing things, which is a real shame because it can actually be a real passion and a real joy of mine, is to get myself absolutely lost within books. Mainly things like romantic books. They're my like genre, my go-to genre, which I absolutely love. And I have absolutely read books of that genre before and not been trying to numb, just enjoying it and loving it. But because it's something like I've done this since childhood, really, like with, it wasn't so much books when I was a kid, it was more films. That is like my happy place, is to go to into like a romance novel. And so when things are getting tough, like I will sink into it, but then kind of get very distracted in with it. So I want to, like, this period has made me realize, okay, I really want to get back to some like really structured self-care again. And one of my blocks to really stepping in and embodying this has kind of been around, well, one, there's a bit of a pushback against that feminine side that says, that kind of says, oh, you know, there's a reluctance to want to be soft. There's a reluctance to kind of want to take care of myself, to take pride in how I look and how I appear, and feeling like, oh, that's a really girly girl thing. Like, I'm not a massive girly girl person. I never have been. And so I kind of like pull back a bit from it. But something kind of hit me the other day when I was thinking about like self-care. So I was thinking about like my diet and like exercise routines, or, you know, just moving my body, getting back into having a relationship with my body in that sense, with movement, looking after my skin, my hair, my nails, like all these kinds of things, which I was initially just seeing as like a chore. But then something hit me that said, this is all like a nod to your own self-love. So when you know, like for example, one of the things I'm doing at the moment is trying to find a new hair care routine. Like, my hair is not in a bad state, but I really feel like I just want it to be more luscious, more volumized. Like, as I'm starting to get into like my mid-30s, I want to carry on, like start creating really good habits so that in my 40s and my 50s, these things are just like ingrained within me. And so I started thinking, like, I just start to see it as like, oh, it's another process I've got to try and fit into my day, into my like routine, which is already busy, you know, looking after 2 kids and all of this kind of stuff. And so I kind of get really put off by the whole self-care routine things. Now, I'm not somebody who would spend like hours and hours, because I just can't be asked. I will be honest, that really isn't me. But what I've started to notice, or started to think about this, is actually, this is my way of like paying homage to myself. And so I'm not doing it because I necessarily want to look good, or it's from a like vain, you know, like there's vanity there around it. It's more about every time I decide to, you know, oil my scalp and give my scalp a massage, I'm giving myself self-love. I'm saying that my body is worth the time and dedication to do these things for. And that little shift is really getting me excited again about implementing lots more self-care routines into my day, into my week. And I don't think there's anything wrong in wanting to, to look good, but like, I think that doesn't become a strong enough motivation after a while, like, whereas this idea of every single time I take that bit of time to give my body some extra care, like today I made an extra like big salad. I like roasted some sweet potatoes and some onions, and did loads of like leafy greens and like seeds and nuts, and it took me time, but it felt really good to like say, my body is worth this, my body is worth the time that it takes to create this for it. All right, buddy. So yeah, I really like this new way of looking at it, and I'm hoping that that's going to help that more, not just self-love embodiment, but also embodiment of like showing up for myself, stepping into those like really healthy routines that aren't things that I just see as another thing on the to-do list, another chore that I've got to do, that I've got to tick off at the end of the day before I can like rest and relax. And like another, so the next one was around being more grateful for the now. And I'll combine this with the third one as well, which was like, I have lived so much in the future, and I am all for like, the future is the now as well. I kind of get a bit annoyed, I'll be honest, I get a bit annoyed when people say you got to focus in the now and the future isn't the now. The now is what you make the now. So if you focus on your past, that is still now. If you focus on the future, that is now. There is nothing but now. But I think the way that people kind of dissect this is that you can use those to your benefit. But if you're focusing on your past and you're focusing on, say, some trauma that happened in your past, something that, wasn't a very pleasant experience, your body is kind of experiencing that now because it doesn't know anything else but now. And I think the problem is what I've been doing with focusing on the future, because again, this can be really beneficial. Focus on your future, you start embodying, you start stepping into that future version of yourself. But what I've been doing with it, and as I've been looking at that future version and then doing that horrible thing of comparison, like, let me know if you do this as well, of looking at that future that is big and it's juicy and it's really exciting, but then looking at my now, or my present, my current reality, and comparing it and going, this is a million miles away from it. I don't know how the hell I'm ever going to get there. And that's been really forcing me like into lack. And we know lack is not a great place to be in. So what I want to do more is get more into the now of just trying to shift my focus around, I know what that future vision looks like. I think if you're somebody that doesn't, then it's good to spend time thinking about what that is. But I have spent years thinking about what that future version is. And it's almost like I need to put that down now and trust. Like, the universe knows what my list is. It knows what my gift list is for what I want in my future, what I want to manifest, what I want to experience. And I kind of have to step back into this place of trust and go, I don't need to keep picking this up in order to bring this into my life. But what I do need to do is I need to start getting on those frequencies that are going to bring that reality into my life. And one of those big frequencies to be able to drop into is gratitude. And so I really want to start bringing back a practice of, what can I be grateful for right now? Even if it's not exactly 100% what I want, how can I still be grateful for it? Like, for example, one of my massive hang-ups is our house. Like, you might even be able to see it. I'm probably being like crazy for even pointing this out, but I don't know if you can see, like, we've still got like loads of work that we need to do around our house. Like, that is a bit of dado rail. We had dado rails in like every single room in this house. And I went on a major like dado rail demolition because I hated them. And that we haven't like patched it up yet. But we have got so much like renovation still to do in this house. And we haven't got a massive budget. Like, we've got a very minuscule budget to do that in right now. And it really gets to me. But I can't keep living in a place of lack, a place of keep trying to live for that future. And like I said at the beginning, this place of, when I get there, then I'll be good, then I'll be happy. Because I know what will happen, I'll get there. And then because I dream expansively, I dream big, there'll be something else I want to move on to. I know there will be, because that's just how I operate, that's how I work. And so then when I get there, I'm not going to be humble when I get there. And, you know, I was talking to somebody the other day, somebody who's got more wealth and abundance than I have. And they were still saying similar things that I was saying around, oh, we don't have enough for this and we can't afford this. And I was kind of quietly in the background thinking, well, you can currently afford more than what we've got. But so it just goes to show, like, even though they had more abundance than what I currently have, they still were in this like mindset of, I can't afford this, or we don't have enough for this. So it's like you can progress in like your abundance state, but if you're still stuck in that mindset, like, you haven't achieved anything, you know. And so that's a big thing that I want to move into, is to be humble, because when I do hit that 7-figure mark in my business, which is an aspiration of mine, I don't want to be in that shitty mindset of, I still can't afford this, or I can't do this, or, you know, and I probably won't even be able to get there like with that mindset anyway. Although part of me thinks you can kind of do it, like, it might not be like easy and fun and flow, but you know, you can find wealthy people who are still miserable and still don't feel that they're abundant at the end of the day. So yeah, so that's why I want to start moving away from focusing on the future and actually on the journey, and like, how can I make the journey to getting to all of this fun, exciting, expansive, you know, all those good juicy things, because I've got to stop living for the destination and start getting on this journey bandwagon. That's a massive embodiment area for me as well. Okay, and then I'm really conscious of time. I've got to go and do a school pickup in a bit. Okay, so then the other one is about stepping more into my feminine. Like, I have done a lot of reading around masculine and feminine energies and understanding like how they show up, what they look like, how they affect your relationship, all of these kinds of things. So again, it's one of these things of like, I know this, but I'm not embodying it yet, or not fully. I'm getting better, but I want to start really stepping more into allowing my feminine to take that lead more often than my masculine, and kind of using my masculine as like the backup support rather than the lead role in my internal show. And so that looks to me like allowing myself to soften more, allowing myself to relax more, to slow down. I'm naturally somebody who's quite impatient, but I really do feel like my superpower is going to come from slowing down. It's like that, you know, you hear people say, slow the fuck down to speed the fuck up. Like, I really believe that's going to happen. So more slowing down. And I will just share this like quick story with you that is, I think is really like interesting, that the universe feels like it's sending me this message to slow down, to soften that bit more. In that I do not know why, I really don't understand this, I keep getting this urge to purchase a very fluffy, like baby pink, dusky pink cardigan with like pearl and brass buttons on it, like a nice oversized one. That is not me. Or I don't know, maybe it is me. Like, it's certainly not me now. I don't like pink. I don't think I have anything pink in my wardrobe. I haven't had anything pink in my wardrobe for a long time. I don't have anything like against it, but I'm just not like a pink girl. But something is really drawing me to this. And then I realized the other day, like, this happened without me being consciously aware of it. I went to go and pick up a new journal to start doing my gratitude and stuff in. Look, can you see? Look what color. You probably can't see it that well on there. light pink and gold. It was like just attracted to me. I've started to find pink has been cropping up in my branding, like for my business. And now I'm not trying to like read too much into this because it is just a color, but it feels like I am really being pulled to soften. Like that is my cue to soften more and to not have to feel like I've got to put on such a hard exterior all of the time. Like it's okay to, I need a new word for vulnerable because I really don't like the word vulnerable. Like that's not what you want to step into. Like maybe it's openness. It's feeling safe to open and to share and to be seen. I think that's more of what it is, not vulnerable, because vulnerable, I looked it up. I looked up the dictionary explanation of this, and I really think people are using vulnerable in the wrong way. It's one of those words that just gets banded around all of the time. You don't want to be vulnerable. Vulnerable means you're open to like being susceptible to like abuse and to being manipulated. You don't want to be vulnerable. You want to be open and be like feel safe to be seen, feel secure in that. So that's definitely something that I'm going to be looking to step into. And then the last thing was around dropping this, like feeling more secure to get an idea, to get an inspiration to do something and not need evidence of somebody else doing it to say it's okay to do this. And I think this ties in with the last one around this idea of feeling safe to be seen for who I am. And I think when I go and look for other people doing it, it's kind of like that group mentality, that slight sheep thing. And I think what I really struggle is because I tend to have my own unique ideas and, you know, I can receive downloads and insights quite well. It then becomes really hard to find other people doing these things. But then it's like having the confidence to say, I don't need someone else to be doing this for me to like go ahead and do it. Like, and that's probably what's going to make me unique. That's what's probably going to be the thing that gets me to like 7 figures in my business, all of that kind of good stuff. So I'm going to wrap this up here, this first episode. And this is what I think they're going to be like, just chilled, talking to you like I would a friend, just going through like the notes that I've got in my journal. And I really would love to hear, like I really want to start some chats in like the comments around all of this. If this is resonating with you, are you on a similar journey? Are you wanting to start stepping more into your own embodiment and really seeing this year as a chance to up level in all those things that you already know about, like that you could literally talk the face off of somebody very easily about, but that you're not quite been brave enough yet to step into? Because I know that I'm in that place. So come say hi if you are and be a part of this journey. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I need to go and pick my 2 girls up. So I will see you in the next episode. Have a beautiful day, whatever you're doing. Catch you later. Bye.